Garret from Garret's Guitar Lessons here, and today I'm going to be talking about deconstructing our CAGED shapes. Now what I'm actually going to be doing is taking our full CAGED shapes and then breaking them down into the triads that build them. Now what's important about these triads are that each one of the triads are going to include our 1, 3, and 5, or the notes that make up the chord. So whilst at some points it's going to seem like I'm just breaking the shape up into just little 3-string segments, it's each of those 3-string segments, or our triads, are going to include all 3 of those notes. This is especially going to be helpful if some of the CAGED shapes are tough for you to grab, because you're going to be able to still implement the main benefit of the CAGED shapes, which are going to be the visualization tools. The ability to visualize these shapes and chords all over the fretboard. But in terms of actually playing them, you can just break them up into these triads right there. Alright, so let's get going with the C shape. So I'm going to be starting out with D as my root note for all of these. So my pinky is going to be on the 5th string, 5th fret. And so our first triad is just going to be the bottom 3. So just like a D shape, then you can play this and you can finger this however you'd like. If you want your first finger barred at the bottom, just like the C, that's great. If not, you can play it just like a D. What's important here is that we're always relating everything back to the root here. Now in this shape right here, like I said, each one of these triads include the 1, 3, and 5. So we know that there's a D note in there somewhere, and in this one we find it on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. The next one is just going to be kind of like the middle part of that C. My second finger is still going to have that root note, second finger on the 3rd string, or 2nd string, 3rd fret, first finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret. So the 3rd one's going to fall right in line with the rest of that C shape right there. My first finger is going to be on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, and now we're back to actually using the same root note as our full C shape, the 5th string, 5th fret, and then finally we have this shape right here. So this is going to be almost like, we can think of it almost like an E chord, but just on the 4th, 5th, and 6th string right there. Again, this is still going to be my D on the 5th string, 5th fret right there. So now we could break up our C using the first 3 strings, 2nd through 4th string, 3rd through 5th string, and then 6th through 4th string, all encompassing the same C shape right there. Next, for my A shape, I'm going to be using the same fret and the same root note, D, 5th string, 5th fret. Now here what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going, my first finger is going to, now typically with the A shape I don't stress this note as much, but it's still part of that shape right there. So my first finger is going to go there. Here's my first triad with my pinky on the 2nd string, 7th fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 7th fret. Now this is probably the easiest one to see. The next one, the 2nd to 4th string, all just all just the 7th fret right there. My root here is going to be on the 7th fret, 3rd string. So on the first one and on the second one using the same one right there. Now my 3rd shape is when things start kind of changing a little bit. So my first finger is now going to be on that same 7th fret, 3rd and 4th string, but now if I do something like that, that's just going to be a power chord, not necessarily a triad. So I have my root, my 5th, I'm going to need my 3rd. So I'm going to find that on the 9th fret, 5th string. And now I have my final shape, which is going to be my, almost like the starting of my G. And in fact, that's what's kind of neat about this, is that the G and the A share the exact same triads. Now while there are 5 CAGED shapes, C, A, G, E, D, there are only 3 triads along the whole fretboard. So some of these are going to be shared between 2 shapes. This is our first example, the A and the G shape. Next I'm going to have the E shape right here. Now my first finger is going to be on the root note, 10th fret, 6th string, and the first part is just going to be the bottom part of my E chord right there. So here's my root on the 1st string, 10th fret, right there. Next is going to be almost like an F shape right here. Now my root note's going to be found on the 4th string, 12th fret. We can find this almost by like an octave pattern right there. Here's my first shape, right there. Next is going to be just like the E chord right here, all the way down here. But now again, it's important that we're relating everything back to the root, the 10th fret on the 6th string. So there's that triad right there. And then here we're going to vary a little bit from the original E shape by, again, if we were just to do the bottom 3, this would just be a power chord. So you need to add that 3rd in there. So my 3rd finger is going to be on the 14th fret, 6th string. Well, that is being barred from that previous E shape right there. All right. So now when I go to my D shape up here, or even down here, You're going to notice it shares the exact same triads as our C shape right there. Thanks for watching. Have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Check out GarrettsGuitarLessons.com for more free lessons and resources, where I have other lessons on triads and CAGED shapes, from arpeggios and scale shapes, and PDFs covering all those. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next time.